Hey guys, BattleBear here, and today I'm making a video a little unlike my usual UO content, where we let the script run its PvE loops in the background and clear out these spawns. This is going to be more of a laid-back chill video, where I just talk to you a little bit about what I actually do outside of the shard, including a lot of my military experience. My first real taste of the fleet was just like taking a ferry ride outside of Seattle. I was stationed up in Bremerton, Washington, a small town which was incredibly cold and wet, while my ship was in the dry dock in the yards getting ready for its upcoming deployment. I was put on a small detail, working nights in a team called Firewatch, next to contractors for hours. If something had caught fire while they were grinding or welding or whatever it might be, I was the guy to put it out first and call for emergency services. Honestly, that job kind of sucked, but on slow nights, me and the guys would stay up and play Nintendo. Aviation has some rough guys by nature, and it was quite the learning process on how to get along with them. I've always been a nerdy guy, definitely not the type to wrestle just for the heck of it and throw each other around after hours. Eventually, we had moved down to San Diego. I didn't care much for it. Traffic was heavy, parking was expensive, and I'm not much of a party kind of guy. But soon enough, we went on a 9 month deployment through the South China Sea after our work-up cycle, which was vicious in and of itself. Then I got sent to one of the most grueling divisions in naval aviation outside of my Tiger team as Firewatch into the V2 arresting gear. Full time, baby. I became what guys on the ship call a gear dog. The South China Sea is relentlessly hot. We were working on 100 plus degree conditions daily. Our spaces were purely hydraulic systems, so there was no air conditioning. I have many photos where I'm just absolutely drenched in sweat, whether I was on the flight deck or down underneath operating on my arresting gear equipment. If you go and look it up online, viewer discretion advised, there's infamous footage of an arresting gear wire snapping on the flight deck with thousands of pounds of torque and force. It clears the deck, causing loss of both life and limb. Well, we were the guys in charge of those wires. We stood next to them every day, inspected them, changed them out, fed them through our systems, and kept them from hurting anybody, with us being first on the line. The first thing I was told was, it doesn't matter who you are, you're now a member of the arresting gear. It's the greatest family you'll ever have inside of the Navy. Day in, day out, we just made sure that we left the deck and our rooms with 10 fingers and 10 toes. And trust me, a lot can go wrong. During that time, I missed home pretty badly, so right after boot camp, I picked up a little gaming laptop with my first paycheck. Whether it was quiet on the ship or not, I'd use my phone as a hotspot, playing War Thunder, but don't worry, I never gave away any secrets. Neverwinter Nights, World of Warcraft, and other games on that tiny screen with my family back home. Escaping into those games is really what got me through 3 years in the pit. One of the worst parts about being undesignated, besides the work and not being able to have any sort of leadership, is that you're capped at E3. Funny enough, I made all my promotions from E1 to E3 in boot camp by assuming a leadership position, doing laundry for everyone. It was incredibly gross, and I saw things in that Great Lakes laundry room that I can never forget. But I was capped at E3 for 3 years until I finally got the opportunity to strike a rate and become an IT. I flew out from my deployment in South Korea, pretty close to North Korea actually. I went to the military's IT school in Florida for about 6 months and learned how to operate radios and Cisco networks. Because of how the promotion system works for undes sailors, I picked up E4 guaranteed as a trade-off for my time invested, and then I quickly made E5 the following year off the promotion exam. Going from the grease of the flight deck to the IT world was amazing. I loved being in IT because everything in the world is math and problem solving. It gives you confidence to take control, figure out the unknown variables, and act as a SME, aka subject matter expert, to help others. I've honestly been straight lined across the entire US and almost every single time zone. I've even been to Guam, where America's Day begins, dealing with a crazy time difference just to coordinate with people back home that I cared about deeply. But after IT school, I got orders to stay out in a region of Florida, and it's been wonderful. Being by the water every day is something I have really learned to enjoy. You can tell a lot from the water. If it's going to be calm, if a storm is coming, and seeing that sun reflect off the water every morning is incredible beyond words. I extended my contract to 7 years, which I'm finishing up now, but for my family, I've decided that 7 years has been more than enough. The four legged kids, I have two cats and a big old dog, and I just decided to get my first house and get comfortable. So I'm now working on civilian certs and being the best IT that I can be and having fun while doing it. I've even found some really cool local gaming clubs where I can play cards and tabletop RPGs, so all in all, life is great. Thanks for hanging out. Battle Bear out.